One of the best and hardest things about being a pastor or a church person or a person of faith, really, is when the Spirit moves and you are aware of it and you suddenly are forced to pivot extraordinarily. I set this all up to say that on Sunday, I had a children's sermon totally planned to go along with Psalm 95, which is what Dan did preach on. And we had talked about it at home, which is very uncommon. We usually kind of stay in our own lanes, which is why on Sunday mornings he'll often be like, well, Bethany said it so well. And I'll think, heck yeah, I did, because I didn't know what you were talking about and you didn't know what I was talking about. Sorry. But on this past Sunday in the sanctuary, Dan did the announcements, and then we were getting into worship, and I looked up and I saw the milk cartons that we had put on the wall for Change for Change. And I realized, oh, we didn't talk about that. I should highlight that. I should draw attention to that. I should focus on that as the children's sermon, which was the right decision. But needless to say, I've had this children's sermon from Psalm 95 in my head and on my heart and in my own devotion times. So you get to be the recipients of it. The earth, yes, it's got a big word on it, explore. But I love maps and globes and earths. We've got our houses covered in them. It's a thing that we look for when we're traveling. And when I read the opening verses of Psalm 95, I think of the earth. Hear these words. Come, let us sing to the Lord. Let us make a joyful noise to the rock of our salvation. Come into God's presence with thanksgiving. Let us make a joyful noise to God with songs of praise. For the Lord is a great God, a great King above all gods. And in God's hands are the depths of the earth. To the heights of the mountains are also God's. The sea is his, for God made it, the dry land which his hands have formed. Oh, come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker. For he is our God, and we are the people of his pasture, the sheep of his hand. He's got the whole world in his hands. God, the rock of our salvation, the rock upon which we stand, the rock, the creator of the whole earth's, all of space. Side note, that's the VBS theme, outer space, perfect plug. The heights of the mountains, the depths of the ocean, all of it is God. God, the creator of the universe, said, I'm going to take this rock and I'm going to put it in space and I'm going to make it so that people who have my infinite spark inside of them will flourish. They'll know hardship. Because of sin, they'll know devastation and illness and pain. But yet, I am their God, and I want them to know me, to love me, to celebrate, and to marvel at the amazing things that I've done. God indeed has the whole world so beautifully here in God's hands. But may that be a comfort. May it not be what's it Dan call it, an earworm, a song that gets stuck in your head, although that wouldn't be totally terrible. But may you find comfort this day in the fact that God does indeed have every component, every piece, every moment in God's plan, and that all we have to do is sing and make a joyful noise and receive the gifts of God and be aware of them. It's simple and it's hard and it's glorious, but oh, the rock of our salvation. Thanks be to God, to God and for God.